Okay, let's just go for something super straightforward. Just an octave or something like that. Okay, so here's one. What happens if I want to adjust some of the parameters of that sound? I'll go to plugin and then just go to the sound level. It's giving me some macro controls to play with here. Okay, that's just something that's a little bit more subtle. Let's see if we go back to the mixer now. We jump up a level. You can see we've got drum kit, bass, so we've got top down control of levels of the group. And then if I go left or right, like that, and then down, up, left, right, down, you can see it's really easy to sort of like move through your groups and your sounds to start adjusting levels. Right, let's have a quick look at the arranger, because this is something that got me a little bit when they introduced this functionality into the Maschine software. It took a little bit for me to get my head around it. Now, as you can see, actually, if we glance over to the software for a moment, you can see we've got a display in front of us of the 3 patterns that I created for my drums, and then we've got 1 pattern for my bass at the moment. Actually, just to add a little bit more flavour, let's just add 1 more bass pattern. So we've got 2 patterns now, a slightly more complex one and a simplified version. Okay, so first of all, I suppose the lowest level is we create patterns to trigger the sounds within our groups. Then, from a selection of patterns, we create a scene. So if you look to the software, we've got scene 1. So if we go to scene chooser here, we've got scene 1, and within that, can you see I've selected pattern 2 for my drums and pattern 2 for my bass. Okay, now if we move over to the next scene, scene 2, watch what happens on the software. Can you see we've not actually selected any patterns yet for scene 2. So what I'm going to do is, for my drums, pattern, let's just go pattern 1 for argument's sake. And for my bass, let's just go pattern 1. So far it's actually not dissimilar from previous incarnations of Maschine. So we've got scene 1, which counterintuitively has pattern 2 for each. And scene 2 has got pattern 1 for each. Now let's move over to the arranger. Now what you'll notice in the arranger, and we actually see this on the hardware by going Shift and Scene, press play. You see we've not actually got any sort of musical structure down yet, because what we need to do now is we need to sort of almost like paste our scenes into the appropriate point of the arrangement. So a scene is like a container for patterns, and then we go, okay, so at this point of the song I want this scene, and at this point of the song I want this scene, and so on and so forth. So scene allows me to select a scene and choose some patterns to go in that container. And then if I go Shift and Scene, now I should be able to create and select a scene to go into that point of the arrangement. What I can also do is adjust the length of that. So whereas in previous incarnations the scene length was dictated by the longest pattern, now you can actually choose how long you want this particular section of the arranger to be. So if we just do that again, I'm now going to create the next part of my track, and this time I'm going to put scene 2 in place. So it's automatically 2 bars in length, but if I wanted to, I could change the length of that. And what I could also do is, using rotary control number 1, actually shunt that to the start of the track, or, you know, I've only got 2 parts to my arrangement at the moment, but if there were more, I could move this scene 2 that I've got highlighted through my arrangement. Now, as previously, now we're in the arranger, you see I'll just tap, held those down, and I can loop around one section or another, like so.